a special collaborative edition of Geekdom Movies. Today, Geekdom Movies, us three, are joined by the two additional members of Eternal Midnight YouTube channel. And I will let everybody introduce themselves because we're excited to collaborate on this video and do this together. I am Shannon Gibson. I'm hosting today for Geekdom Movies, and I'm joined by
Fahad, what up?
And George, how's it going?
And then on the Eternal Midnight side, we have Chad.
What's up, guys? Chad, one of the co-hosts of Eternal Midnight.
And Movie Squad Facebook group.
That's true.
Admin.
Join us there.
Yeah.
An admin, yeah.
Traveling the farthest distance all the way from the Philippines, we have Santino.
What's up, everyone? Resident Harry Potter nerd, Marvel nerd, and currently co-host of Eternal Midnight.
Nice.
And we have gathered together here today to bring you our top 10 lists of movies that we are excited to see in 2021. We are going to start off with movies that we already saw this year, since we are a couple months into 2021 already. And we'll go ahead and let Chad start off. Take it away.
So for 2021, honestly, I haven't seen anything brand new yet. So guess I skipped out on that one. Does anybody else have something from 2021 they've seen so far?
I do.
Go ahead.
For what I saw in 2021, I've seen 6 movies in 2021 already, but they're all in Netflix. They're all on Netflix. So I'll just mention some of them. Outside the Wire, which was a movie with Anthony Mackie, wasn't that good. In fact, it's really generic. I think it's the worst one I've seen. The White Tiger, Netflix. Yeah, that was pretty good. Malcolm and Marie with Zendaya and John David Washington. That was okay too. I think the best one that I saw was I Care a Lot with Rosamund Pike and Peter Dinklage. That was an awesome Netflix movie, and if you haven't seen it, you really should, because that was a good movie. I'd give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Yeah, good movie. Yeah, and the recent one, Raya and the Last Dragon, I actually surprisingly liked it. I think we need a lot more creative stuff with Disney for this, because
Yes.
stop making pointless reboots, please, or remakes. I really don't care. Make creative stuff like this. We'll be on board. All right, that's it for me. That's all I've seen so far.
Excellent. I saw Raya and the Last Airbender, as I keep calling it. Raya and the Last Dragon was really good. I agree with you that we need more creativity and more cultural influences outside of just our typical Disney princess myths. And this one did a really good job. I think it's leading up to something big in the future. I also saw a map of tiny perfect things and really enjoyed that movie. I'm not big on rom-coms usually, but I am a fan of John Green and his work, Hank Green. If you are into any of the John Green books, like one of them is the one with the kids with cancer, Fault in Our Stars, Looking for Alaska, Paper Towns, where it takes a twist on the normal like teen romance and adds a lot of science stuff into it. Map of Tiny Perfect Things fits perfectly into that John Green universe, even though he didn't work on it. Fahad?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I don't think I've seen anything that Santino and you mentioned besides Raya. And I have another movie that I can mention. But yeah, Raya was actually, I would have put that on my list because the trailer looked really cool. It kind of had a lot of like Asian flair with the Disney princess that's Asian. I kind of wanted to say Mulan, but Mulan I don't think was a princess, even though she is considered part of the princess. She's not actually a princess.
Yeah, really confusing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Or Pocahontas, like nothing wrong with them. They're just not princesses. So yeah, I like that this was an actual Asian version of a Disney princess, and that was awesome. The story was good, but I feel like it could have been a little bit better. I think there was a lot going on screen. I got to see it twice, and then I picked up a couple things. So I don't know if it'll end up staying in my top 10 this year, but I did like it. And then the other one I just saw recently on HBO Max, because I think it just got released like a couple of weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Judas and the Black Messiah. Really enjoyed it. Really good stuff. Acting is phenomenal. Um, it doesn't do the whole hokey like like sometimes with those type of movies, like they kind of portray certain, how do you say this, certain stereotypes, like they're all good and like white people are all bad.
Yeah.
They're kind of like pulling on your like emotional stings. Not that this isn't in there, of course this has to do with racism and what's going on in the country at the time of this movie. But what I really enjoyed about it, each person was a real character. Like, yeah, like some of them are black, and yeah, some of them have good ideas, and sometimes they do bad things, just like any other human being. I don't think I've ever seen that before in like a racially charged type of movie. So it actually made it more compelling because by the end of the movie, I'm still like, oh, like racism is still bad, but you're kind of like taking it from a stance of like sometimes good people do bad things and bad people do good things, and that's okay. Racism still should not be allowed just because that happens. And there's a lot could be said. I think I won't go into spoilers. I think it's gonna be, it might actually end up being in my top 10 by the end of the year, but I'm not too sure. So George.
All right. So movies I saw this year, I saw. This would not honestly even be in any sort of mentionable thing, but I did see Monster Hunter. Let's see, The Croods 2. I think that was released this year.
February, right?
Yeah.
That actually was surprisingly good. It had a more original story than I was expecting for sure. Because I mean, how can Nicolas Cage in an animated movie sound like original? It doesn't seem like it should fit, but it actually turned out to be a pretty funny movie. Me and my brother enjoyed that immensely. And let's see, other movies. I mean, I did watch Raya and the Last Dragon. Not quite sure how I felt about it. It was a good movie. I don't know if I would put it in my top 10 this year because there's a lot of movies to see still. But it was definitely worth a watch. I think that was pretty much it for. Wait, did I say Monster Hunter? Yeah, I said Monster Hunter. It wasn't that good, by the way. No.
You were just saying like you saw it.
Yes, I saw it.
It's not a good
I saw
movie.
it. It wasn't that great of a movie.
I'm like,
something that someone actually brought up afterwards that I hadn't even realized watching the movie itself, because this scene was very short, was that in it what's her name? The main actress, Mila
Jovovich or something.
Yes.
The Resident Evil chick?
Yep, the Resident Evil chick. That's the easiest way to go.
Or Fifth Element chick?
Yeah, she's in Fifth Element too. Yeah,
she is.
Yeah, she was great in that. Yeah. But yeah, she pulled out a rocket launcher with an iron sight, and it pulls up with like a HUD and like a lock on. It's like, what? This is an iron sight rocket launcher. I don't get it. But yeah, that was a big oops. Yeah, but it wasn't that great. I mean, there was action. It was cheesy and pretty bad.
You know what that movie could have used, right? Nicolas Cage.
It could have used Nicolas Cage. You know what? If
Any
Nicolas
movie.
Cage, I bet you, if
Every
Nicolas
movie
Cage
needs
had been in that
Nicolas
movie,
Cage.
it would have been awesome.
Every movie needs Nicolas Cage.
I've never seen a bad Nicolas Cage movie.
No.
Even if I don't like the movie, I
Yeah.
always like Nicolas Cage in
Yeah.
it. I don't know what to say except
That
that.
is true. That is true.
Color Out of Space.
Bad movie, but Nicolas Cage is always good. Honestly, Color Out of Space grew on me once I gave it some time.
It had the best 20 minutes of any ending for a terrible movie. The last 20 minutes was amazing.
At least it was creative, and I
Yeah.
think with having a drought of no movies in 2020, I really appreciated Color Out of Space more for at least trying to do something and be creative and not do what everybody else is doing. We are going to count down now our top 10 movies that we're looking forward to for the rest of the year. Starting with Chad, go ahead with your number 10.
Or
All
honorable.
right, mine.
Or honorable mention.
What's honorable? All right, I'll just do honorable mentions real quick. Get them out of the way. Army of the Dead, Spiral, Fast and Furious 9, Resident Evil, and Snake Eyes. I mean,
Wait,
I got my list is huge, but I mean, I could say all of them, but that'd be just a waste of time. So I'll just jump to my number 10. My number 10, Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah.
This is one of those movies that was like after Ghostbusters 2016, I was like, well, Ghostbusters is dead. They murdered the franchise. And then I'll always remember when that first teaser came out where they like unearthed the car in the old barn, and I'm like, what do we got? And that first trailer dropped, and I'm like, yes, this is what Ghostbusters 2016 should have been. Like, the second one wasn't as good as the first, but it's like they're following in that storyline. They got, it's years later. I mean, of course, we don't really know what the story is or what's going on, but it's like it feels good not being Ghostbusters 2016. So Ghostbusters Afterlife, I can't wait to see it.
As long as I'm in it for Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's good in everything he's in. So like the fact that he's there, like he's already a better leading man, or he's already a better leading character than Melissa McCarthy. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound like I'm sexist, but really, I mean, like I prefer Paul Rudd in his charisma over Melissa McCarthy. I really am. I'm sorry.
That is totally fair. Totally fair.
Exactly right. I mean, it's true. I prefer Paul Rudd more because he has better comedic timing than Melissa McCarthy. I mean, like I enjoy in some of the movies she's in. I liked Spy, which I thought was pretty funny. But some of her comedies just cringe. Paul Rudd, I never cringed from his comedy ever. He was always on point.
I would love to see Melissa McCarthy return to drama because she is really good in Gilmore Girls and then not in anything else.
Yeah, but when she does drama, she's not paid as much as those comedies, so money talks.
Yeah, that's true. She was so good as Suki.
Yeah.
Gilmore Girls.
What do you got for us?
All right, my number 10 is Silk
Do you have honorable
Road.
mentions like Chad did?
I don't. I had a hard time coming up with 10.
Oh, okay.
Silk Road is about a kid who starts a online e-commerce website, and it ends up becoming used for drugs, and the cops are after him. And this movie's only on my list because I love Breaking Bad, and I'm always chasing the high of a good Breaking Bad episode, and I hope that this has some of that.
All right. My list, right.
Number
I zoned
10.
out. Yeah, so honorable, before I get into honorable mentions, I agree about Ghostbusters, except for the part, the trailer just didn't do anything for me. It looked like a drama. It didn't really look like a comedy. I do love Paul Rudd. I hope the trailer is just kind of like trolling us, and it's still like a comedy like the first one and a classic tale. We'll see what happens. My honorable mentions. I did not think this movie would be good. I was not looking forward to it. I hate when they do remakes and reboots and all the other stuff. And then the trailer dropped, and I can't wait to see this Mortal Kombat. Oh my god.
Oh.
I watched this trailer 20 times. And when Sub-Zero takes the blood out of that guy's enemy, turns it into a sword, then stabs you with it, that deserves an Oscar as far as I was concerned. It is so good. I got so hyped. Me and George watched the really dumb animated Mortal Kombat movie.
It was so bad.
It was so bad, so I had no hope. And I love the 90s Mortal Kombat. It's really cheesy, but this thing has so much going for it. Please, for the love of God, this is my sonic prayer to the Hollywood gods. Please don't let Mortal Kombat be bad, because this is my childhood dream of this video game actually being good. So we'll see what happens. I can talk about Mortal Kombat all day. It was in my top 10. Could it still be terrible? My other one that I was so looking forward to see, we bought tickets, early screening, because we're part of the screening group in Detroit now. We had tickets in our hands. Literally the next day, we were going to go see it. And then everything shut down because of the pandemic. So my honorable mention sort of is, it's supposed to come out in 2020, but it's coming out now. The Quiet Place 2. I still don't think they have a date for it, do they? Quiet Place 2? It's still coming out this year,
still
right?
no date. No.
I hope it's coming out this year.
It has to. I am so excited for it.
So
it should be coming out right after. It should be coming out right after the Suicide Squad.
Oh, okay.
Because my list isn't chronological, and that's when I wrote it down. I should have wrote down dates when I was doing mine.
Nice. So I'll just jump into my top 10 now. My my 10th movie. It's kind of, I don't know if it counts or not, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it counts. Justice League, even though it came out like 4 or 5 years ago, there's a new version. I don't know what to call it. It's not
Snyder Cut?
really a
Snyder
Snyder cut.
It's called the Snyder Cut. That's what HBO put it as, at least.
Is it? Is that
It's,
the name?
it's officially called the Snyder Cut.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Yeah.
weirdly enough.
So I hated Batman versus Superman. Then my buddy was like, "You really should watch the extended edition. I think you'll appreciate it." I'm like, "How can it be better?" And yeah, it was better. I still wouldn't say it's a great movie, but I definitely enjoyed the director's cut more than the theatrical. I thought the theatrical was just a mess. So if Snyder is doing a 4 hour version of Justice League, and he's kind of, if he needs to tell a long story, I'm honestly okay with it after witnessing what happened in Batman vs Superman. So we'll see.
Okay. So, my number 10 is actually...
Any honorable mentions?
No, forget them.
Okay.
My number 10 is actually The Suicide Squad. I'm kind of excited to see a reboot of this, if it is a reboot. I'm not exactly sure. It sounded like it is, though. Of The Suicide Squad. Now, I loved Will Smith and the old Suicide Squad. But at the same time, Idris Elba, I like him.
He's
So
good.
yeah, I'm actually kind of excited about this one. I'm not sure if I'll actually watch it in theaters. I might watch it from home, but I am definitely probably gonna see it. All right.
All right, so I guess it's time for my honorable mentions and my number 10. So honorable mentions first, No Time to Die, James Bond. I am a fan of Daniel Craig's James Bond movies, and I really hope that this one's good. Although the fact that it keeps getting delayed is what worries me. Mortal Kombat, for all the reasons Fahad mentioned. Godzilla versus Kong, Black Widow, and Antlers. Because Antlers is that demon movie by Guillermo del Toro, and it looks cool. That's all I know.
Forgot about
Yeah,
that.
it's a horror
I
movie.
know there's a trailer, but that's all I know.
I just had to add Black Widow to my list.
All right, so for my number 10, it's this Netflix movie coming out called Red Notice. And basically, I don't know nothing about this movie. All I know is it stars Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, and they're all spies for Interpol. And it's gonna be an action movie that's coming out on Netflix. No, there's no trailer, but there was like a Netflix like supercut of all the movies in 2021, and that's in there. There's like some scenes of like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot kicking ass in a cafe. It looks cool. It just looks cool, and they're all agents, which is like an awesome take. Because I can't wait to see the chemistry between those three because they are all charismatic. So having them pull it off would be awesome. I hope to see it. So yeah.
Nice. All right, number 9. So my number 9 is Fahad, you basically said it all. Mortal Kombat. As soon as I'm exact same thing shot in the trailer as you said. As soon as Sub-Zero turned that blood into a knife or a sword, I was like, opening night. You've just sold me with that one scene right there.
Doesn't it come out this month, or am I wrong? I thought it was coming out.
April.
It is.
Oh,
Oh, is it?
April.
You gotta see that, George.
Either way for me. I'm not watching that at home.
You gotta see it. That is such a guy's movie. If there's one movie I'm like, Shannon probably would not enjoy this, it's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I'm like, I mean, it sucks, but I really don't think you have anything to offer.
Come on, Sonya Blade's in it, and Sonya Blade's a badass.
That's true.
I'm not going to that one unless Fahad tells me I have to.
No, you can skip that. I just want to gush about Mortal Kombat, so that's my reason. Is that it? Number 9 or 10?
That's it. Number 9, Mortal Kombat.
All right, Shannon.
All right, my number 9 is called Body Brokers, and
You
it
have some
sounds
interesting names for movies. I don't know.
Yeah.
What are these?
It sounds pretty interesting. It's about a guy who goes into drug rehab, and he finds out that the drug rehab place he's at is not actually it doesn't have anything to do with caring for patients, but is actually a black market organ place, and he is being forced to recruit other drug addicts to come in so that they can have their organs harvested. And it sounds really crazy and out there, and again gives me some Breaking Bad vibes, and I'd be interested to kind of check it out and see what it's all about.
That sounds like The Cure for Wellness.
I
In a
never
way.
saw them.
The
I
Cure
didn't
for
see that
Wellness
either.
was if you're like, I want a weird, creepy, like cringy horror, like Midsummer, A Cure for Wellness. That will like, oh my gosh, wow.
I loved
I-
Midsummer. Midsummer was
I kind of accidentally went on a date for that. Needless to say, I was cringing the whole time because I'm like, oh, this is offensive. Oh, this is offensive. Oh, that is definitely offensive. Yeah.
She go out with you again?
She was hoping to. I was like, I can't compare to that. Yikes.
Oh my god, that's the best comment of the day. All right. So what was yours called?
It's called Body Brokers.
Body Brokers. All right. So let's see. What did I put mine as? Got to put my list up. Oh, so mine is Top Gun Maverick.
Ooh.
What can I say? Moved to America, saw Top Gun, wanted to be Tom Cruise. That's really all that needs to be said. One of the most fun guy, like guy buddies, like planes and Air Force in America. Like that was the
Quintessential.
quintessential 90s 80s movie for me. What's the one where everybody Russia or North Korea invades America? Oh, what was that one? They did a remake of it.
Pearl Harbor?
No.
Red
It was
Dawn.
like high school students. They have to fight.
Oh, Red Dawn or
Red
something?
Dawn.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like that and Top Gun to me were like the best, or Rambo. I can talk about it all day. But yeah, it looks really good. I was like, oh my god, don't make a Top Gun sequel. It's a classic. Then the trailer dropped and it looked amazing and beautiful, and the cinematography and the sound effects. I'm like, I gotta see this in IMAX or Dolby at least, because it just looks like real planes flying, no CGI. I'm all about it.
This is gonna sound offensive, but I haven't even seen Top Gun yet. I've never seen Top Gun. I really want
It's
to.
an old movie. It's in
It's
the 80s.
perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I really want to. It's on Netflix. I'm like, I've been wanting to watch Top Gun forever, but like I've never found the time. But like my mom, who was like a '90s kid, was all over Tom Cruise and his abs when it came out. So yeah.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
It is a bit of a drama though. So like
Yeah.
you're okay with that if you're gonna watch it.
Yeah, but there's also really cool dogfight scenes and
Yeah.
comedy. Iceman, or
That's
was
true.
his name, and things like that. Yeah.
All right, so my number 9 is actually Jungle Cruise. This has The Rock.
I forgot about that.
And yeah, I'm needless to say, what was it? Doesn't it have The Rock and Scarlett Johansson?
No, Emily. What's her
Emily
name?
Blunt?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. Needless to say, as The Rock, it's a comedy. He's a tour guide. What more is there to say? Like I
And there's
totally,
a jungle.
yeah, I totally loved. I really, really liked him in Jumanji and Jumanji 2. So I'm like, yeah, this seems fitting. He's in a jungle again. He's saving people, I think. I would assume from the trailer. Yeah, I definitely want to watch that. It looks like it's going to be great fun.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer looked cool, but I like Jumanji. They're just fun movies, not to take them seriously. So I think The Rock has kind of a cap on jungle movies for some reason. If there's a jungle, you put The Rock in it. He also did what was the one with the guy from American Pie, and they're like in the jungle in South America. Oh my god, it was like
I
first
remember
movies.
that. Then there was one where he was in Hawaii. Then he's in Moana. He's in
like tropical jungle, The Rock.
Baywatch. It's all like
Baywatch, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's not the jungle, but kind of, yeah.
yeah, it's all like sea and exotic places. I don't know.
Yeah.
Any place that's hot and he can sweat and like just
Show his
glamorous.
muscles?
Yes.
I think my head is shiny and my body has oil. Let's shoot this movie. I feel like that's what The Rock's definition of a movie is these days. What was the one they announced him in a Shazam sequel as Black Adam?
Black Adam.
Adam,
years ago.
yeah.
What the hell happened to that? Is he still doing it? They had him on
He's
stage
doing it.
at
He's
like
still doing it.
Comic-Con. Like, what happened? Shazam was amazing.
That was.
Fuzzy.
Yeah. All right. So number 9 is The King's Man. I love the first 2 Kingsman movies. The first one was an awesome comic book movie. I loved it a lot. The second one, while bad, I did enjoy it in that it's dumb, but I enjoy it kind of way, like how I enjoy Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. In that same way. But like The King's Man looks amazing. It looks promising. Why? It has Ray Fiennes, Gemma Arterton, the Jaimon Honsu, an amazing cast, and a Kingsman origin story of like how they came to be these secret agents that protect the world. I'm all in for that. I really want to see that. So yes, The Kingsman, definitely.
Yeah, the first movie was kind of like the trailers did nothing for me, and then when I went to go see it, it was one of the most over the top amazing movies I've ever seen. Samuel L. Jackson orders McDonald's in like a very fancy setup. Oh my god, just the church scene, exploding balloon heads. Just oh my god, that movie was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. And then the second one had the Mandalorian with the rope and doing the rope tricks. Who doesn't want to see the Mandalorian do rope tricks? That was my favorite part of the entire. That movie was saved by the Mandalorian doing rope tricks, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys have anything to add.
Yeah, I mean, like, do you have anything to add, Chad, about The Kingsman? Are you? I saw it was on your list, right? Or like what?
Yeah, it's yeah, I like the first one. Second one was all right, and yeah, this one would be cool. Probably should have been an honorable mention, but I had a feeling you'd bring it up because I know you love Matthew Vaughn. So I was like, I'll just bandwagon off of when you say it.
Oh
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. I had it on my list. It's number 9.
All right, I guess we're up to number 8. So I can almost guarantee. I think I'm going to be alone on this one. Halloween Kills.
There's a new
So-
Halloween. I don't even know.
Yeah.
So Halloween 2018, I liked it. I think that's where it should have probably ended because I don't get why these movies do this. They like do these years later things and they're like, oh, it's like the definitive end. And then it's like, as soon as it comes out, they're like, oh no, there's 2 more coming. I'm like, okay, so the definitive end makes no sense, but whatever. But I like the Halloween franchise and I'm excited to see almost how they're going to screw it up because I think they're going to, but it'll be an interesting train wreck, but it'll be cool to see, I guess. So like I said, I think I'm alone on that one. So moving on.
I mean, I
Shannon,
love
what do you
horror
got?
movies, but like I'm not as excited for it as you are. But yes, I will see it.
I loved the 2018 Halloween movie. I thought it was fantastic. Just the grandma and the mom and the daughter, this trap house. It was so good, and it had no right to be that good. But it really worked. I don't even know they were making a sequel. Where could they possibly go with that? I have no idea.
That's what I'm saying. They end it with, okay, she's finally going to kill Michael, lock him in the basement, burn the house down. But no, we've already seen shots that he survived. And I'm like, okay, well, that whole movie was basically useless, I guess, because he just survived anyways.
I would say it's the best of the sequels.
I still love the original second one
Yeah.
and the third one.
Oh, really? Okay. I love the original, and I think I like Halloween H2O. That's my second one I really liked. But nobody saw it for some reason. Anyways.
My number 8 is called Bliss. And it is about Owen, I think it's Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was Owen Wilson, right?
Yep.
And his girlfriend find out that they're living inside a simulated reality. This movie's already out on Amazon, and I saw a trailer for it, so it looks kind of interesting. I'm a huge fan of Black Mirror. Obsessed with Black Mirror, and I hope that this movie gives me some of those same vibes because they're not doing a 2020 season of Black Mirror. I was super disappointed. Hopefully they have a 2021 season for me to get me through.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of this movie, but it sounds interesting. What's that Amazon show where they die and go into reality?
Upload.
That was really
Upload.
good. No, what was the other one that had Emma something in it? And like Nick Offerman, I think. It had
I
Emma
don't think so.
Stone. We watched it a couple years ago. We loved it. They
Really?
yeah, and then they like traveled back to the 80s. I can't remember the name of
I
it now.
do not remember this.
Limited series Maniac.
It was a
What was
what's
it?
that?
Maniac. Is that the limited series you're talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It was a
I nev-
Netflix
I've
miniseries.
never seen that. I
No,
don't
you
know.
watched it. You loved it, and it had like Emma
you
Stone,
sure it was
Emma
me?
Stone, or Emma
And
something.
Jonah Hill.
Okay. I don't.
Jonah
know this.
Hill. Yeah. It had
I've heard of
Jonah
it,
Hill
yeah.
in it. Yeah.
That
Huh.
It was fantastic, where they enter into a parallel universe.
Oh, I thought. Yeah. They had. Oh, now it wasn't a movie. It was a TV show, though.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, okay. My mind was just stuck on a movie. I'm like, what movie is this?
Yeah. So if Bliss is anything like that, I'll love it.
Sweet. Well, it sounds good. I gotta check out the trailer now.
Hmm.
My number 8 is. Is this even coming out? I haven't seen a trailer. Did they stop production? It still has a release date for 2021. What is it called?
Yup. Shang-Chi.
Is it coming out this year?
Yup.
Yeah, supposedly.
I'm like, did they film
You
it?
sent me the date, Santino. What was it?
It was hold on, I'll pull it up. Give me a second. It was, I believe,
July?
July 9, 2021.
Really?
That's my
So
brother's.
close. We haven't had the trailer for it. So
But the fact that they don't have a trailer worries me.
yeah.
Because usually Marvel drops like well, maybe because of the pandemic they just didn't know and they have it done.
Maybe because of all the miniseries that they're doing, they're actually like, maybe we shouldn't reveal what this is. No.
Oh, that's a good point. They did that with Spider-Man. They're like, FYI, we're dropping this trailer. If you haven't seen Endgame, we're gonna spoil it for you.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like this weird thing. I'm like, you guys could have just waited 6 months to release and
Well, I mean,
Spider-Man.
let's see. We're gonna have what? 2 miniseries and a movie in between now and then.
Yeah.
So that could end up releasing some serious spoilers for that movie, or kind of like show what it's about, pretty much.
Yeah, no, I mean Marvel's doing a lot this year. I mean, I know people hated it, but I loved WandaVision finale.
I loved it.
I loved it.
And I think people just had these crazy theories about, Professor Xavier or Captain Marvel or Magneto and X-Men and all of this stuff, and they were just so hyped up on I was like, please don't do that. I just want to watch Wanda's story. It's already good. And when they didn't go down that route, I was really happy. It ended in such a good spot. So it gives me hope for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because it's like, I just want to see Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Please don't introduce other people into it. Just like WandaVision, just keep it separate, So.
I actually tend to think that actually was basically them showing that this is just an alternate universe to the X-Men.
Hmm.
That's my theory, at least.
I mean, you're not wrong. He is technically her brother from the X-Men. It doesn't make any sense, but yeah.
Alternate reality.
Yeah. All right, I'll go over to you, George.
Okay, my number 8 is Ghostbuster Afterlife. So I'm definitely excited about that movie. Paul Rudd. I mean, seriously, I love him in all the comedies I've seen him in, which would only be Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp, but still, absolutely amazing. I think I've seen him in other movies too. I really do like his character, the way he acts and everything. It's really good. So I'm hoping that he does bring some comedy to Ghostbusters, because honestly, I can't imagine trying to watch little kids running around with all the Ghostbuster equipment. That would just be torture. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what he does with that.
But it is the little kids from Stranger Things, so like.
Isn't it just
Gotta
one
be.
kid?
It's at least
Just
one
one.
of them.
Yeah.
And then one of the other kids is from It, I think. So
Oh, really?
It should be good. I think the girl from It is in it. I don't remember.
No,
I thought the boy was also from it.
Maybe.
No, the boy is from It and Stranger
Yeah.
Things.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, he's in both. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
He's good.
Santino.
Okay, so for my number 8, Eternals. Eternals, the concept alone looks fantastic. I like the idea that we're meeting essentially these new gods in the Marvel universe. If WandaVision was anything to go by, I want more creative things. I want them to go cosmic. Don't focus on Earth anymore. Earth had its story, and yeah, there are heroes on it, but I like them to go cosmic. I want to explore the universe. And I was talking about this with Chad last night. Don't make it comedic. Make it a space opera, a genuine, amazing space opera, and that would be awesome. I want to see that. I really do.
Yeah, we actually just did a Golden Globes Best Picture winner, which was Nomadland, and we got to see it. She actually, the woman who won for Golden Globe Best Director and Best Movie, she actually wrote and directed Eternals, and it sounds like her resume is
What?
just about. Yeah, we talked
Yeah,
about
we
this
just
in the-
talked about that a week ago.
She's directing Eternals?
Yes,
Mhm.
we
Oh,
just talked
wow.
about that.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
Nomadland was boring, but it was a good movie.
That's true.
I think that's what everybody can say. This was interesting, and I can see why it's a good movie. If for its subject matter was good, but I'm excited to see what she does. Sounds like Marvel. One Marvel studio guy said they were not expecting Eternals to be as good as it is, and they were kind of blown away by Chloe's direction in that movie, and they're like, you guys have no idea. Just the idea of these beings who created the universe, which somehow has something to do with the Infinity Stones, and then after they created the universe they were still so bored because they're gods, and they decided to erase each other's memories and live like as humans, forgetting that they're gods. And then they're waking up, I guess, because Thanos used the gems, and like they snap back to reality and be like, oh shit, somebody knows about the gemstones. We should probably not forget our memories. It could go in such crazy directions. I don't even know what they're gonna do. Sorry, you're saying something, Santino?
I'm so glad that Eternals is still coming out because um I really want to see this concept brought to life. It sounds so creative, and we
Yeah.
need more creative stuff from Marvel. Like as much as I like Black Widow, I don't think like as Chad said, I don't think it's really kind of generic at this point because it's a spy movie, and Marvel's been doing that for so long. But Eternals, man, Eternals looks. I'm still hyped for it. I want to trade it like right now.
Yeah.
All right, Chad.
Going to Chad.
Well, we just talked about it. Now number 7's Eternals. So I guess, yeah, everything everybody just said. That's exactly why. Yeah, I want it to be a space opera. Let the Guardians of the Galaxy have the mass amounts of comedy. Let them keep it. Make Eternals like that, a space opera, something much larger than what the Guardians of the Galaxy is. So
Wait, is Chris Pratt gonna be in this movie?
Mm-mm.
I
don't think
mm-mm.
Not unless they somehow make some weird appearance.
They'll be back in Thor: Love and Thunder though, aren't they?
Yeah. They're in Thor 4, which I'm really excited about because Ragnarok is one of the funnest, awesome movies I've ever seen.
Oh, I'm not.
You don't like Ragnarok, Chad?
No.
Oh no!
No.
That's surprising because I thought the first two were terrible, but I really liked Ragnarok.
I wanted to walk out of
I
Ragnarok.
love the first Thor. The first Thor is awesome.
I can't stand that movie.
Really?
It is just cringe from beginning to end. As soon as Thor was talking to the main villain and he started spinning around and he's giving this big speech, oh, can you wait till I spin around? I was like, this is the tone for this whole movie. I'm already ready to go. I'm like, I'm not watching this.
It's
I
Guardians
cannot
of the
stand
Galaxy
that kind of
Thor.
comedy. I
Yeah.
can't.
No, I agree.
Are Guardians in the Galaxy in Thor Ragnarok?
No, but they'll be in Thor 4.
Are they gonna have a Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'd
That's
be
already.
awesome.
I mean, they're gonna have 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know.
Well, no, they said unfortunately Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
They
Is there-
canceled Chris Pratt. Oh no.
No, it's not because of that. It's just
Well,
they planned a
it's,
trilogy.
I think it's because Gunn, I could be wrong. This could be an old quote. I'm pretty sure what happened was after Disney let him go, then he went to Warner Brothers to work on the Suicide Squad. He
Right.
said he wanted to stick with Warner Brothers, but then Disney said they bring him back to do Guardians 3. And he said he would do Guardians 3, but then he was going back to Warner Brothers to work on DC some more. So
I-
maybe he's changed since then, but kind of can't blame him.
It's kind of their own fault for, jumping on that too fast. If they just waited,
Yeah.
let the storm die down and see what happens in a few months,
Yeah, Chris
they would have been
Pratt's
fine.
the most wholesome, lovable guy.
No, we're talking about James Gunn.
Oh.
The
I thought you were
director.
talking about Chris Pratt.
No.
No, the
Oh.
director was in a scandal situation too, I think.
Yeah, some party.
But it wasn't anything major, was it?
Well, they had pedophilia parties. I don't know what the hell
What?
that means, but
Oh.
I don't know. He
Jeffrey
said.
Epstein.
Even confirmed, is it?
I think it was confirmed, yeah. But he was 18. It was like 20 years ago. He was an idiot, he said.
So he was basically
like a young
being
college
preyed
kid
upon
being
too. No.
technically, I mean, like
Hey.
what they did, he was just doing it. He was trying to be like, oh, I'm edgy, that most people do when they're in high school. He said he hit it in college, then realized, oh, this is actually really bad. I should never do anything like this. You can't hold a guy like. First of all, he's not an actual pedophilia. Second, he made a dumb move. Who doesn't do dumb things? I'm so glad like social media didn't exist when I was in high school or college, because you could have canceled me about the things that I got into. It's just so dumb. Kids are dumb. I'm sorry. Like, kids do stupid things. Like, if you're 30 and do it, yeah, you have issues. If you're 18, 19, like 20 even, or in high school, come on, you're still kids.
There's a statute of limitations on these things. There needs to be
that's true too.
some grace. Are we on number 7 now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 7 is called Double Dad. I believe this is going to be just a straight to streaming movie, but it looked kind of interesting. It's about a girl who grows up in a hippie commune her entire life, and then she finds out that she was either adopted or the guy who runs the place isn't her real dad, so she leaves the hippie commune, which is like a cult, to go find her real dad. It could be interesting, or it might be terrible.
Who's in it?
I'm not sure. It didn't look like anyone I recognized.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Did you guys want to add anything before mine, or is everyone good? Okay. Just want to make sure. Oh, so mine, number 7 is No Time to Die. What can I say? I will fight anyone and say Daniel Craig is the best Bond. I don't care how much you love Connery. It doesn't matter to me. I think Daniel Craig is amazing. His first two, his every other movie, like his first one is like really good, but then like Quantum Solace was terrible, but then Skyfall was amazing, but then what was the last one called? I can't remember.
Spectre, and it was trash.
And it was trash. If I had to put money and somebody put a gun to my head and said, you have to put $1 million right now, would this James Bond movie be good? I would say yes. I think this is going to be his swan song, his last James Bond, and I think it's going to kill it. I think it's just going to be great. We'll see what happens, though. I don't know. Anybody else?
Yeah, I want it to be good, but I don't know. It was like a year ago when I heard it was coming out, I just heard a bunch of stuff behind the scenes and stuff about the plans for the franchise going forward. So it's like it's one where I'm just like I got to see what it is before I actually judge it, because it's like I love Casino Royale. I'm in the minority. I actually think Quantum of Solace is not as bad as everyone says. It's not as good as Casino Royale, but it's not as bad as Spectre. And Skyfall is like one of the best movies ever made. And Spectre, I hated Spectre when I saw it in theaters. I was like, you took Blofeld and you had an amazing actor play him in the rebooted universe, and you made one of the most boring movies ever. It was just, oh man, Spectre was such a letdown. So we'll see what we get out of this one.
Just to add real quick, Skyfall was my first Bond movie ever, so I started like the highest one. So when I watched Spectre, I was like, this is so underwhelming.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I know if a movie is good, an action movie is good, if I'm with Shannon, and Shannon loved Skyfall. She was like, I love this movie. You just kept talking about how good it was the whole time. You're like, I usually don't like action. This movie's fantastic. And I was like, wow. Shannon really liked Skyfall.
I have not seen it since then. That was like 7 years ago we saw that movie.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. Skyfall probably is. I would say Casino Royale is better. I think Casino Royale was dark, gritty, like very serious. when you go from like a Pierce Brosnan, what's the Diamond movie with Halle Berry? Forgot the
Die
name.
Another Day.
Die Another Day.
Die Another Day. Yeah, like
Die Another Day is amazingly cheesy. I love that
yeah.
movie.
So when you go from that and then go to Casino Royale, there's such a huge shift in tone, and you're like, this is it's like going from Tim Burton's corny Batman movie with Jack Nicholson or Batman Returns, and then going to Begins, and you're like, oh wow, this is not childish. They're taking this very seriously, and it's actually working. That's what I felt with Casino Royale, while I felt other James Bond movies were super cheesy, over the top action, Casino felt very grounded. So, like for me, that's why it's better than Skyfall. But Skyfall is still fantastically up there. I think it's the movie that, like, if somebody was like, they didn't tell you, you would just assume Christopher Nolan directed Skyfall. It felt like a Christopher Nolan spy Inception Dark Knight type of movie. So yeah, I guess I'll go over to George.
So, just building off of what you were talking about, last year I finally started to watch the 007 movies because we were gonna have to watch them because the new one was coming out, and I only got 2 in. So, Casino Royale, yes, I actually kind of liked it. I actually don't think I liked any of the romance parts, really, for any of it. That just didn't. I don't know. Him or in romance just didn't mix. I mean, he's supposed to be a spy, so yeah, I get there's supposed to be passion. There's supposed to be a certain amount of deceit and such. I don't know if that's
Well,
right
the
word, but-
romance was a lie the whole
well,
time.
that's
why it was
what it
interesting.
turns out to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't help it. I kind of liked that it was. But yeah, I was so over that. So okay, now for my number 7. My number 7 for this year is actually Top Gun Maverick. American nostalgia, I guess.
For
It's-
80s, 90s kid. Absolutely.
Yeah, just it's one of our it's I was always into aviation. That was one of the things I absolutely loved growing up, and so yeah, Top Gun obviously fit into that. I really liked the movie. Granted, I think it's slow, but still, I'm gonna watch. I mean, the things they were showing in the trailer, I was absolutely amazed by them. So I'm gonna watch it just because I'm an aviation lover.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So for my number 7, whew, it was already mentioned before, but the Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad is the Suicide Squad because I am amazingly excited about this movie. I like Gunn. I like his direction style. I like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. I think this is gonna be amazing. When he released that sizzle reel of all the characters in their costumes, Harley Quinn's costume alone makes me want to I need to see the opening night. Her red jacket with her rocket launcher. I need that.
Perfect.
I need to see that in theaters. And the fact that Gunn described it as like a 70s war movie with Starro as the main villain, I was like, yes, I need to see this right now. I want to see this right now. I can't wait to see John Cena, Pete Davidson, Idris Elba. I want to see them all interact with one another. This is gonna be. I'm calling it now. If this is done right, it's probably gonna be one of the best comic book movies of the decade for sure.
It's a high statement right there.
Big, huge.
Yeah.
If it's done right, and I have faith in him. I have faith in James that he's gonna do it. I have faith that he's gonna do it well. So yes,
We got to say why. We were talking about it this morning, remember?
yeah, it's like because he's a guy who oozes creativity. Okay, when he's not held back, he does stuff really well. Like the first Guardians of the Galaxy, I felt like he was not held back as much as he was in GOTG2. Because in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, he went all out with all this creative stuff. In GOTG2, like he was held back by Disney a bit more, but it felt like he was still able to tell a great story about him, Peter, and his father. So I hope like James Gunn, maybe, and I have a hunch that James Gunn will be talking about PTSD of soldiers in the Suicide Squad because they're a platoon. So maybe like they're gonna be talking about like PTSD through villains. I don't know. That would be awesome. Like if they humanize the villains a lot, and like when they die, I might actually be sad because we know they're gonna die. Like Jim's gonna say, like they don't get attached because like a lot of them are gonna die. It's like, oh shit. It's like,
Is he
I
pulling
love
a
DC. No.
It's like, is he pulling a Game of Thrones here? Oh, do you love this character? They're gonna get raped and murdered. Have a good one. That's why I don't like Game of Thrones, even the good seasons. All my favorite characters are dead in the first 3 or 4 seasons. I'm like, I'm over this show. I really enjoyed Birds of Prey, surprisingly. And I think Harley Quinn's character really, all these movies just need to be Harley Quinn and not Joker, because I think Jared Leto is just terrible. I'm sorry, but that's just I even saw the new trailer with Justice League, and I saw Jared Leto pop. I'm like, mother, kick him off the cliff already. I do not want to see Jared Leto.
Man.
So I kind of agree with you, but let's see what happens. Suicide Squad would be interesting.
all right. So back to Chad. Chad, your number 6.
This probably shouldn't even be my number 6 because it's like like I'm excited for it, but I probably shouldn't be after the first one, but I love the first one. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Just I love the first Venom, and Carnage is like a villain I've wanted to see forever. So as soon as they confirmed Venom or Carnage was going to be in it, I'm like, it could be one of the worst comic book movies of all time, but as long as I see Carnage like just rip some people to shreds, I'll be perfectly happy.
Mike, quick question about that is: did they introduce Carnage at the end of the first movie? Wasn't there an actor that guy?
Yeah, there was an actor.
Woody Harrelson.
No, that's who it was.
Mm-hmm.
He literally says, when I get out, he literally says, when I get out of here, there's gonna be carnage. I was like, oh, that's so bad.
It was so cringe, but it was so perfect at the same time because it would like fit the tone of the rest of the movie.
For a movie that's supposed to be so bad, but yet somehow made it good, I still think Tom Hardy was really badly miscast. But it somehow, weirdly enough, entertains. I don't know how that movie, like the whole time I was watching Venom, I'm like, why do I like this? It doesn't make, I should not like this, but I like it.
I think this is like close to Starship Troopers in regards to like cheesiness that's good.
Oh, that's a good comparison.
Good.
I mean, yeah.
Except Starship Troopers is like absolutely amazing in all aspects.
Because it was so cheesy. That's what was good about it. And like, I feel like Venom had the same, like, when it was being cheesy, it was good. You know?
I still haven't.
The SWAT team massacre was like one of the best fight scenes ever.
Oh my god. I still haven't finished the movie because I was in 7th grade and I was watching it. I rented it and I didn't know there was sex scenes and nudity. So I'm watching it and then suddenly there's like 2 or 3 scenes with like girls taking their clothes off, like really hot girls. I was like, I'm not gay. And then second thing, I was like, oh my god, like they're going, and my dad walked by and he just comes and he just starts like slapping me a little bit and takes the movie. He's like, this is not appropriate. I still haven't finished it. So is it worth, I was like 12, maybe 11. I mean, it definitely was not the appropriate movie for my age.
Wait.
Honestly, the trailers didn't make it look like there was going to be sex scenes and nudity. It just looked like a dumb action movie. Someone has like aliens.
You
Whatever.
don't need trailers for movies.
What movie are we talking about?
Starship Troopers.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Venom. I was like, what the
No.
Santino's like, which cut of the movie did you see?
I was an adult when Venom came out. No, it was like a 90s.
That's the vibe we were talking about. Are we still talking about Venom or no?
It was the worst because I was in the living room watching it, and like my dad just walked by at like the perfect time when there was like a sex scene. And then I was like, well, I'm never finishing this movie. I should finish the movie. If it's that good, I should finish it. I feel like
it's good. It's cheesy. I love it.
But they let you watch Titanic when you were like 8.
That's different.
No, I was older when I saw Titanic, 15 or 16.
That is art. No, I'm sure.
You seen the
That's the only reason the nudity got through to the PG-13 is because Cameron said it was art. So yes,
Really? Because I remember watching that movie and be like, this should not be PG-13. Not gonna say no to it. Kate Winslet is a nice looking girl, but I don't know why it's not rated R.
Yeah,
It should have been rated R. I don't think I ever finished Titanic. I got bored.
I never watched it, so
I finished it. I liked it actually.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that you just never get to that everybody talks about. I think it's like, yeah. All right. Oh, Shannon, it's on to you, I think.
Okay,
number 7,
so
6, sorry.
6.
my number 6 is called Me, You, and Madness. It's it's a crime thriller about an architect who is selling a house. And what he doesn't realize is that one of the biggest female criminal serial killers in the country lives in that house, like criminally lives in that house. And then she starts stalking him. And that's all I know, and I didn't watch the trailer yet, but it caught my attention enough to make my list.
You might be the only person I know who has named every movie, and I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. Did you say Quiet Place too?
That one's coming.
Oh, okay.
It's coming.
Because I'm like, you've been talking about. She's been talking about Quiet Place too. Is it out? Can we go see it now? I'm like, every month, Shannon.
You mean every week?
I love me some John Krasinski. Okay. What can I say? Jim from The Office, the perfect man.
He's
the
dead.
perfect man.
No.
He died.
No, he's in it. It's a flashback scene, so he's in it.
Exactly. He is dead.
He's dead, but he's in the flashback scenes. Listen, all I want to do is see Quiet Place 2.
We know.
They
might not know, but we know.
We had tickets in our hands.
We did.
We were gonna go see it the next day, and Corona shut us down. We had press passes to go see it for free.
Wow.
It got me out of binge watching James Bond, so I'm all for it.
Hey, James Bond movies are good. You gotta get to Skyfall. That's when you'll appreciate it.
I'll do that.
Oh, so did you guys want to say anything about her list or anything? We can move on. Okay.
You didn't even wait.
I don't.
You're like, no.
No.
Now you can all guess my number 1.
Oh shoot! What was?
Oh no.
Oh, so mine is okay. I'll be honest. I'm one of the only people. I don't think anybody is gonna agree with me, and that's totally okay. This is a very extreme viewpoint that people disagree with all the time. Matrix 4. I love the Matrix trilogy. I think it's very underrated. I think the Matrix sequels are more relevant today than they were when they first came out because people didn't understand them. But I think today it makes a lot more sense with gay rights and transgender rights and all the other things we're talking about. And also, if you tell me the action scenes in Matrix 2 are bad, I would tell you you don't understand movies. Matrix 2, the choreography, yes, there are times when it's over the top CGI, but that, like the car chase scenes, the scenes where Neo is fighting and jumping from one staircase and they're just kind of jumping around, I've never seen anything like that since, just like Matrix 1. Yeah, Matrix 3 is a letdown, and I get why people get upset about it, but even Matrix 3 was just so good to me. The robot sequences, go back and watch Matrix 3 and tell me all those like CGI effects look terrible, because they don't. And so I'm excited for Matrix 4. I don't know what they're doing. It's supposed to get released in December.
HBO.
I mean, they're releasing literally everything on HBO. Warner Brothers, I don't know what they're doing, but I don't want to see these movies on HBO. I'm going to go to theaters. I wish I could see Justice League in theaters, I'll be honest. I'm excited. We'll see what happens. There's no trailer. I don't know. If you guys have anything to add, you can about Matrix.
So I saw the first one when I was younger, and I thought it was pretty cool. And I didn't bother with 2 or 3. And then a buddy of mine, it was like the first podcast I was ever on. My buddy wanted to talk about them. And so I rewatched 1. I still really enjoyed it. And I watched 2 and 3, and I just like, I'll give you, you're right. The fight scenes are great. There's no denying that. Anyone who says like some of those fight scenes are like not that good, you're wrong. They're very imaginative. They were like amazing for the time. They still are. They still hold up, I'd say. But it was what killed it to me was the story. It was just like it was probably 4 or 5 years ago. I couldn't tell you anything about the stories of 2 or 3. Maybe I need to go back and rewatch them and prep for
Matrix 4.
4 coming out. But it's just 2 and 3. Just the stories are just they just didn't. None of it stuck with me.
I would have to say, yeah. When I watched 2, it could barely hold my attention. Now this was a while back. This is actually before I was doing reviews. But yeah, I wasn't very interested in it. And honestly, any parts of the story that weren't in the simulation were even more forgettable. Like, to me at least. I mean, like, yeah, what was in the simulation I thought was interesting. Obviously, yeah, I loved Matrix 1. That was great. I don't think there are many movies that can rival that in regards to like originality and just such innovative thought. It was amazing. But yeah, I would agree with you.
I'm gonna not actually say anything because if I do, I'll go on a 2-hour rant about why the Matrix trilogy is great. So I'm gonna hold my tongue and say I knew when I said it, nobody would agree with me, and I'll just keep it there.
Sometimes for me, I'll put it this way. Sometimes a rewatch really is necessary for me, especially when somebody I know gives something high praise that like the first time I watched it, it may not have worked with me as well. Like Santino can back this up. When I used to not like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I was going to say this earlier, but I was like, yeah, forget it. But now I'll bring it up. I wasn't a fan of Guardians 2, and Santino kind of like said some stuff he really liked about it. And I was like, okay, I'll watch it, keeping that in mind. So I actually watched it about a week or 2 ago, and I thoroughly enjoyed it way more than I remember the first time I watched it. So sometimes a new perspective on a movie can really help bolster it up and make it better than you remember it being. So like I said, I'm planning on rewatching the whole trilogy this year. Maybe 2 and 3 will go up for me. We'll see.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. There's a lot of movies that I've also revisited that I didn't originally like, but then ended up just thinking like, what was wrong with me? That it was like fantastic. One of them is, weirdly enough, Braveheart with Mel Gibson. I just thought it was boring, but I also was in 6th grade or 5th grade when it came out. I didn't pick up all the adult themes, and then I saw it again in college, and I'm like, this movie's fantastic. So I get you.
I really hated Lady Bird the first time I saw it, and then I watched a review of it, and I watched Lady Bird again a couple months later, and now I really like it.
Midsummer.
Nice.
Midsummer was better the second time.
I loved it right off the bat.
You did.
I did too. I thought it was hilarious and great. I love that.
I did not laugh once. That movie was not
I
a comedy.
literally started laughing at the first scene.
Well, yeah.
Like how
She's crying about her dead parents.
but it was funny.
No, it wasn't.
And I don't know why. Like, it was messed up. Okay, maybe I just went in there with the wrong mindset.
Yeah.
No, you went with the right mindset.
But
'cause
I literally-
I didn't realize I was supposed to laugh.
I
You're not.
literally walked into that
Her
movie
parents
and
get
I
killed.
just, like, I started laughing from the very start and, like, almost
What's
could
wrong
never
with you
stop.
people?
I almost couldn't
Let me-
stop. And, like, the problem is that
It's
the
not a
sex
comedy.
scene in it was even funnier. And by the time it got to the sex scene, I was literally in tears laughing because it was so funny. It just,
That
like,
part you could laugh at.
it was so funny. I don't know how you could not laugh.
The reason it was so funny is because this is so stupid. Is she learned the mask to stop in the carbon monoxide to kill herself. Then somehow magically she gets the pipes or whatever they are into the bedroom to kill her parents. I'm like, this logically makes no sense. So I completely agree with you because I thought it was bananas. I'm like, is this supposed to be real? Is this a joke that I'm not paying? And then like when the old people, they jumped off and died. And then like the college students like, we have to go. And the guy's like, no, it's just a different way of cultures. You know, other people put them in retirement homes, but they smash their head open and throw you off a fucking cliff. I'm
None of it
like
is
dying.
funny.
And then the barn scene, he's just sitting there. I'm like, dude, get up up, the fire is coming, and walk out the door. It's a fucking fire barn. Like, I thought the movie, like the second time, I just thought the movie was hysterical. And once I didn't make it a comedy anymore, I was like, I love this movie because it's so over the top stupid. Chad's laughing. I gotta hear what you have to say because you're dying.
It's not a comedy.
It's hilarious. I'm sorry.
Nothing about that movie is meant to be funny.
Chad.
It's a dark horror movie with dead parents.
I would call it a
and
dark
outside.
comedy.
Well,
All right,
obviously,
Chad, you gotta tell us what you're laughing about. I gotta know.
I'm laughing because I haven't seen it yet, and I'm getting like two entirely different parties right here. Two people saying it's so bad, it's amazing,
Okay.
and Shannon's like, "No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
both
I
fucking
didn't know you
serious."
I've seen it. I've seen it, and
Oh
yeah,
man.
Fahad's right.
Oh, you have seen it?
You thought
Yeah,
it was funny?
It was hilarious. The guy ends up burning up in a bear suit.
What's wrong with you people? You're
Bear
all
suit burns up.
psychopaths and I'm leaving.
The funniest thing ever. I was like, clearly, the girl, when people smash the old people's heads, it's like, yeah, man, we should stay and wait until it happens. No, we go. I'm like, well,
Yes.
I was in real life. If I saw that, I'd be like, yeah, I'm out. I'm sorry. Bye, guys.
No, I picked it up the second time. I was like, you guys should have left like 4 days ago. Why are you still here? Like, get in the car and go.
I couldn't believe he stayed after the shrooms. I mean,
Oh
like,
my
come
gosh.
on. The shrooms themselves were bad enough. I would have been like, yo, I'm spread. Like, that was trippy.
All right,
Oh, man.
we gotta let Shannon talk, or she's gonna explode.
All of you are. Hold on, I'm waiting for Chad.
I'm sorry. But Shannon, to be fair, I did really like Hereditary, and I thought it was really good. But I don't think Midsommar was good.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Florence Pugh was amazing. She gave a hell of an approach.
It was good.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
The set dressing, the props, everything that was painted in there, everything that was part of their culture was all beautiful to look at. I loved that movie. It was a trippy, weird experience that took you to another culture. Nothing about it made me laugh. All of it was serious. I took it a completely different
How many
approach
times
to
have
it
you seen
and
it?
really loved it. Just the once.
Okay, I watched it a second time, and it was hilarious. The first time I was disturbed. Second time I realized this is a dark comedy.
No, it's not.
Watch it a second time,
It's not
Shannon.
a dark comedy. It
I'm
is a
telling you.
serious horror
All right,
movie.
we gotta-
Guy
No,
gets
no, this
put
is
in a
like-
bear suit and burns. That's like the funniest thing ever. We literally could have left anytime. There were no cages. There was no electric fence. He could have left. He could have taken the car and left. There
Yes.
was no way.
The second time, I'm like, I cannot believe how stupid these people are. Like, they're ridiculously dumb.
They're 21 years old. They're college idiots.
Let me tell you right now, if you take an old man's head like a watermelon and bash it with a giant hammer in front of me, I will leave immediately. I won't try to understand the culture. I wouldn't try to psychologically try to understand anything. I will
You
walk
guys
or
completely
drive.
missed every point that movie was making.
Oh, no, I
we
could-
didn't. You understood what Suicide Squad already.
Okay, so this one is my number 6. Actually, same as yours, Chad. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I am super excited about this. Honestly, I think I probably would have put this up higher on my list, except that there are some really awesome movies coming out this year. And I loved the first one. I'm really glad that they actually had a standalone Venom movie because they did something amazing with it, and I can't point out what it was, but it was really good, and I really want to see more of that. Like, I loved how cheesy it was, but still good. It was like cheesy in a good way, and I like movies that are like that because they make me laugh a lot more than just a regular comedy.
I just
So-
feel bad for the writer of Venom because he wants a dark, hard rated R movie, and Spider-Man 3 was just so cheesy, and Venom isn't very serious either. But I loved Venom, I agree. I mean, Tom Hardy jumping into a fish tank in a restaurant
And just eating lobsters whole.
and
like,
just
oh my
eating
God.
lobsters alive whole. Oh my god, it's so I should not like this movie, and it's great. And Carnage's voice is like he's just like, I'm hungry. What are we having for dinner? Just
You mean Venom?
stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, not Carnage. Venom. Yeah. I don't know where they're gonna go, but yeah. Do you guys have anything else to add before we
That's
stop?
it.
I agree. I can't wait. I'm so pumped.
All right, now we're gonna move to Santino. I think we've said enough about Carnage. I keep calling it Carnage. Venom. All right, here we go. Venom. Number 5 and no.
So
six.
my number 6 is a film called Don't Look Up. It's gonna be on Netflix, and it stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence. And basically, what they do is
Damn it!
they're playing. Basically, the premise is so nice. They're astrologists who figured out that an asteroid is gonna hit the Earth in about 60 days, and they have to warn everyone because the government won't let them warn anyone.
I'm so disappointed
So
in myself. That
yeah.
should be in my top 10. I totally forgot. Yeah.
So yeah, so Don't Look Up. With Leonardo DiCaprio is good in everything he's in. He always puts 110% in what he does. So I really hope that just him alone, like that's already like your movie's gonna be really good because you have him in that movie. So I really hope it's gonna be good because the premise sounds interesting. I think Jennifer Lawrence, despite the hate she gets, is a really good actress. So I really want to see more of her. And it's gonna have Ariana Grande in it and Timothée Chalamet. So that's gonna be also really kick-ass cast right there. I mean, like, I hope it's good. I really do. Yeah.
Ariana Grande in a Leonardo DiCaprio serious movie? That sounds terrible.
No,
Have you
that
seen
sounds
Zoolander
great.
2 where she was
Sounds crazy. Sounds crazy. I know, right? But I hope it's really good.
Hey, you know Lady Gaga in what was the movie she won an Oscar for with Brad Bird?
A Star is Born.
A Star is Born. I said the same thing. A drama with Lady Bird. That sounds terrible. So who knows?
Lady Gaga.
Oh, whatever.
Lady
Yeah.
Bird. Wow.
My brain is so fuzzy right now.
I
'cause
like
of-
Ariana Grande's music a lot, so it'll be interesting to see if she can act. She
My-
could not act when she was on Victorious, but she was like 13, so we'll give her a pass on that.
Well, she's been in other movies since then.
Okay.
One.
Zoolander 2.
Yeah, that's it.
Wait,
She was part of the massive orgy in that.
Yeah. She was part. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a groupie. I can't remember. It wasn't like a
Wait,
yeah. It
wait,
was
are you
weird.
serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm
She was there.
absolutely serious. Her and Owen Wilson were like she talked to him for like a split second in that movie. It was hilarious.
I don't understand, but okay.
You would have to
guess I would
lose
have to
some
watch
sanity
Zoolander
and go
2.
watch Zoolander 2.
I don't know. Zoolander 1 is one of the best comedies in my opinion. I loved that movie as a kid.
I cringed
refused
so
to watch
bad.
Zoolander 2. I
I
did that.
cringed so bad during Zoolander 2. I was like, why am I watching this? And it's like, well, Ben Stiller. I'll do it for him. And
Yeah.
Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
That'll carry me through. Ben Stiller's hair looked amazing in that. When he gets older, like that's how he should have his hair.
Isn't it gray? Like Chris
It
Rock
was-
now?
It almost looked like Kurt Russell in a way. Like
Oh, okay.
it was like brown, and then he had like this gray streak through it, and it was like kind of like half long. And I'm just like, oh, so good,
So I gotta ask something to Santino. So Leonardo DiCaprio and who's the other actor you said?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer
Jennifer
Lawrence. And there's an asteroid like gonna hit
Yeah,
Earth?
there's an asteroid coming to Earth, and their equipment detected it, but the government's trying to cover it up. So they have to spread the word, but no one believes them.
So
Well,
basically,
Greenland.
conspiracy, almost like conspiracy theorists. No, Greenland was not at all like that.
Yes, it was. They were hiding it.
No, Green Lantern, like
Not at
they
all.
fully
Well,
disclosed the asteroid was coming.
Yeah.
They were hiding it until it was close enough to kill us all, and then that was like, yeah, we got a lottery. If you're part of it, you get to go underground. Everybody else gets murdered.
Well,
Sounds like that.
they told the people about it, but they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be passing further away, and then they're like, it's getting closer, and then like this is a national emergency, stay indoors, like that's gonna help. But yeah, they gradually let people know in that, whereas it sounds like from what you're saying, Santino, they just don't want anyone to know in this.
Yeah, they don't want anyone to know, but like Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence are really determined to.
When does it come out?
I don't know, but it said it's coming out this year. So, and it was on that Netflix sizzle reel. I'll send it to you guys. It's like the very last thing, and you can see Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence walking out of a plane. So I assume that it's gonna be good because it's freaking Leonardo DiCaprio. I will watch anything that guy's in.
Yeah, I was
Anything.
gonna say, has Leonardo DiCaprio ever made a bad movie?
No.
No.
I need to look at
He
some
was in
lessons.
Critters 3.
He's in what?
How old was he in there? Honestly,
Like 12.
I don't know, like 8 or something, like
Okay,
8 or 9 maybe.
he's a child actor. Then I guess. I mean, like, okay. I guess you can
Hey,
count that.
a
You
fair
don't-
question
that's a
was
good
asked: has he made a bad movie?
Yeah,
The
it's
beach.
okay.
I just remembered the beach. The
The
beach.
beach was okay. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was.
I sighed like 20 years ago, and I was just thinking. So Leonardo DiCaprio basically survives the Titanic and just to die on the beach in paradise. I'm like, okay. That literally, if you watch Titanic, then the beach, then Inception, it just becomes one movie. So he almost drowns on Titanic, starves and dehydrates to death, then wakes up in a dream in Inception because he wakes up on the beach, and it just becomes weirdly one movie. Just somebody explained that on Reddit, and I'm like, it's one movie as far as I'm concerned at this point.
Where
Wow,
did
it's already
Shutter Island fit?
it's already deeper than it's
Oh my
worth.
He was in Shutter Island.
Yeah,
He was
the main character
actor.
in
I
Shutter
guess
Island.
I haven't seen that movie.
Oh,
Oh.
I was like,
I
how
thought
do
that
you
was-
miss it?
Okay, Shutter Island is another that's another really good, almost Inception style movie where it's just
Oh.
like it's playing with your mind. It
I
seems like the
remember-
whole time.
Okay.
I remember liking it, but I don't
Shutter
remember.
Island's great. I love Shutter Island.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess-
it's not as great as Inception, obviously, but it's sort of along those lines, in between like that and A Beautiful Mind, sort of halfway in between.
I would put Inception in the 10 greatest movies ever made. That's
Yeah,
how much I
for sure.
love
That's true.
Inception. I think Christopher Nolan he can't do better than Inception in my opinion. I enjoyed Interstellar. I enjoyed The Dark Knight.
Interstellar was really good.
But I
It
just
might even be better than
Interception.
Interception.
Sorry.
That should be the next one in the trilogy. That was part 1 of our top 10 list.